So today, we're diving into this really amazing ancient text called Mind and Phenomena. And really, it's all about one single huge question that kind of sits at the center of everything we experience. What's the real deal with the relationship between our inner world, our consciousness, and the reality we see around us every single day?
And the text just jumps right in by asking us this. I mean, think about it. Is your mind actually in charge? Or is it just, a mirror reflecting whatever happens to be in front of it? This one question is what we're going to unpack together.
Okay, so to get into this, you've got to understand two core ideas. First, there's Xin, which you can think of as your mind, your consciousness, your whole inner world. Then there's Xiang, and that's, well, everything else. All the phenomena of the external world, people, things, events, you name it. The whole philosophy is about the dance between these two.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting right from the start. The text makes this super bold claim: we aren't just born with a mind. Nope, it says our mind is born from phenomena. So without the phenomenon of a computer, you literally can't have a computer mind. Without parents, there's no parent mind. The idea is that our consciousness is first built by the reality we bump into. So, that idea sets the stage for the very first level of consciousness the text describes. This is the mind that follows, and it's called the state of the ordinary person. And trust me, this one is probably going to sound really familiar. The key phrase for this level is, the mind turns with phenomena. What does that mean? It means our inner world is basically on a leash getting yanked around by whatever happens outside. We're in a constant state of reaction. And yeah, this is what it feels like to live on this level. Your mood is completely at the mercy of outside events. Good day at work, you're happy. Get cut off in traffic, your whole day is ruined. The mind is just constantly chasing the next thing, the next sight, the next sound, so it's almost never at peace. The text calls this being in the mortal world, just totally distracted, all the time. Okay, so if that's level 1, where do we go from there? Well, we move up to the mind that is unmoved. This is the stage of the worthy person, and it's all about making that huge shift from just reacting to becoming rock solid. And look, the phrase completely flips. Phenomena turn, the mind does not. This is a massive change. It means the world outside can be a total whirlwind, unpredictable, chaotic, but your inner world, your mind, stays stable. It stays calm. This level is all about being able to watch the world without getting sucked into its drama. You see the ups, you see the downs, but you aren't owned by them. The text uses this gorgeous bit of imagery, saying it's like calmly watching flowers bloom and fall, clouds roll and unroll. You become the calm observer, not the victim of whatever's happening. Let's just put these two side by side and makes it super clear. On the left, level 1, the reactive mind. Your mood is just a mirror. On the right, level 2, the steadfast mind. The world can do its thing, but your inner peace, that's yours. It's a move from being a puppet to being the calm center of your own universe. But we're not done yet, not even close. The next level up, the mind that transforms, is where things get really interesting. This is the level of the immortal, and it's not just about withstanding reality anymore. It's about starting to actively shape your perception of it. The phrase evolves again, using the mind to turn phenomena. So you see, this isn't just about not being bothered anymore. This is about taking control of the very lens you see the world through and actively reframing your experience of it. And just listen to the examples the text gives. They're incredible. At this level, you gain the power to see darkness not as an end, but as the promise of a new dawn. You can experience suffering not as just pain, but as something sweet like honey. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Even death itself is reframed as just a new beginning. That is some serious power. And that brings us to the very top, the fourth and final level, the mind that creates. This is the state of the heavenly immortal, and this is where the whole relationship between our inner and outer worlds just gets completely mind-bending. The final phrase is using the mind to create phenomena, and this is the ultimate leap. The mind doesn't just interpret reality. It doesn't just transform its perception of reality. It is the very source from which reality comes. So what would that even feel like? Well, it's described as total freedom. The mind finally understands deep truths, like form is emptiness and emptiness is form, which frees it from all attachment, all fear, all worry. It's a state where, as the text says, Wherever your mind focuses, a beautiful world of green mountains and clear water appears. Just a constant, gentle, self-generated joy. So here it is, the whole journey laid out. It's so clear when you see it like this. You start out reactive, then you become steadfast, then you learn to reframe, and finally, you become the generative source of your own reality. It's a ladder of perception, and it's there for any of us to climb. Now, if you've been paying close attention, you might be thinking, wait a second, there's a bit of a contradiction here. And if you caught that, you're absolutely right. And the text knows it. It actually presents us with this paradox to play with. Here's the problem, right? The whole thing starts by saying the mind is created by the external world. So how on earth can it end with the mind creating the external world? That feels like a total 180, doesn't it? And the author's answer to this is just brilliant. It's not a fixed logical problem. The text basically says that whether this is a contradiction or not simply depends on which rung of the ladder you're standing on. From the bottom, yeah, it looks like a paradox. From the top, it's just the obvious truth. And to really land this, we're given one last piece of the puzzle. We're told to stop thinking of it as mind versus world. Instead, it's an interplay between what's called mind law, which is pure consciousness, and phenomena law, which is structure. They aren't fighting each other. They're two sides of the same coin, constantly creating each other. And this is how the whole text ends. It's not a command. It's not a rigid doctrine. It's an invitation. I leave this one law for you to play with. It turns this whole deep philosophy into a tool, into a game, into something you can experiment with in your own life. So the final question isn't just about understanding this. It's about asking yourself, where am I on this ladder today? And how can I start to play?